get out the vote, go throw $1 in on Giveth on Optimism, and we will be promoting it on Twitter, of course. But it always helps if you guys just also execute on donate $1. Sooner the better, because it always helps with the stats. Let's see. And as far as the actual deployment, I deployed the laser tag multi-sig on Optimism and used it for collecting these funds and added the TEC project up. Kind of last minute as I didn't realize we didn't have an Optimism address like the day that we were launching, so I just kind of pushed it. And also the laser tag address is every other chain as well. The only chain that we can't use laser tag on is Celo because it would be a different address, so we'd just have to redeploy the multisig and it would be a different address. So I just didn't bother because I don't think Celo donations are worth the hassle. Is that cool? Did I overstep anything? Was it okay that I did that?
How was there not an Optimism address associated with TEC before anyway? That's crazy.
Yeah, I think there was. There is I think we had deployed a multi-sig somewhere for something. And yeah. But the laser tag was receiving the funds for every other chain, so I figured that as well. But I do think there was another multi-sig that we use, right?
Yeah,
Oh, you go ahead, Isaac. Yeah.
Because it was me. I deployed one for the OP proposal we made a while back ago, and now that one is being used for the retro PGF thing. But I think it's good to have both because then we can use the grants one for KYCs related stuff, and then laser tag for like a bunker of funds, like it has always been used.
Yeah, I also don't think there's any problem with that. I think it's great that at least we're using the laser tag also for something else, right? So put it some good use. Okay, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else in regards with this topic. I think we should all go and donate to the round, definitely. But yeah, if there's not anything else, maybe we can jump into the next one and talk a bit about community events. If that sounds right. I'm just gonna give a couple of seconds to just make sure there's nothing else. Yeah.
One other thing, or actually a couple other things, I guess, that are just kind of random odds and ends with the QF round. I created a referral link and posted it on Twitter. The referral link will give the address that I have that I think still that we used for a few Gitcoin rounds and other things. It's just a key on my MetaMask. It will give it givebacks when someone clicks it and then donates. So there's like this referral program that Giveth has, which is pretty cool. So that's one thing just to watch out for, because if you do click that referral link, then half of your givebacks will go to the TEC and half the givebacks will go to you. So that's one thing. Other thing was, when you donate, you will get give tokens on Optimism. We're going to get a 25 OP sign-up bonus. And I did have one more thing. The round is 2 weeks, so make sure we push it. We'll be pushing it for the next 2 weeks. And man, I had something else, but I forgot it. But that's all. That's good enough. Oh yeah, no, I remember. If you have give tokens, there's a little rocket next to on the TEC panel. Well, if you're there donating anyway, there's a little rocket emoji. You can click that and actually boost the TEC project, and that will help it go higher up on the list. It's already pretty high on the list, But if you have give tokens anyway and you want to like adjust it, basically when you stake give tokens in the give farm, you get voting power to kind of tweak how the projects are listed on the front page. So you can click the little rocket ship and you can move the TEC up. That was the one.
Okay, that's great. Oh, that's really cool. That's a really cool mechanism to have. Pretty interesting. So yeah, let's make sure we go there and vote and boost the TC project as well. Okay, I guess we can talk a bit about the community events. Nate, I don't know if you have any updates in regards to that.
Yeah, there's
I can pass it on to you.
yeah, no problem. There's not many updates in this regard. Compared to last time I spoke, we have two big events this month, which is going to be the community call on the 18th, and a first session of the token engineering as a public good interview with Jackson. And so we're finalizing the date for that, and it should be finalized today. He's not sure exactly which day he wants to do it on, but he actually prefers to do it on a Sunday. So it kind of puts a little, I don't know, a little adjustment in the plans in terms of how we approach it. But I think it's actually a pretty good thing too, because I'd like to have videos for these sessions to actually share on Twitter after the fact, once the space is done and over with. And so I am really excited about the prospect of doing that. Everything about the comms and the marketing, we talked about a little bit yesterday. Getting the graphics and making sure that we're promoting these events beforehand are really important as well. And so, but outside of that, there's not really many updates. But today I should have finalized dates for the TE as a public good series.
I was thinking, like from yesterday, that maybe it would be a good idea to also start promoting the community call that it's happening next Wednesday, I think, right? Maybe we could start this week and just like throw some tweets about it. Yeah, I don't know if you were considering that, Griff, but I think we could do that.
Sorry, can you say that again? What exactly do we want to add the tweets for?
Maybe just kind of like a teaser tweet, something like that, related with a community call happening next Wednesday to start promoting it this week. I think it'd be probably a good idea.
Okay, perfect.
And also, Nate, in regards with kind of like the not just for these two upcoming events, but like kind of like for the overall series of the T as public goods and all of these different type of events we're gonna have. Are you thinking on putting together some document? And though I think we've talked about this before, like defining kind of like the objective, the purpose, and these kind of things about the different events, just to kind of like share it and maybe start sharing feedback.
Yeah, for sure. I have that for the first events shared with Jackson already, just kind of illustrating the purpose of that specific event. If you're talking about the entire event series as a whole, yes, I can provide that as well. And so I can share that if you guys want to have feedback on it, I can provide that in the channel.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'd be cool. That'd be interesting just to kind of like better understand how you are thinking about things and on this whole series and the whole events. I think that'd be useful. Okay, yeah, I'll just open the floor if there's anything else that people would like to ask or to make a comment on about the community events. What are we having for this community call, Nate? Sorry, I think you've mentioned it before, but I forgot. What were the plans?
The plans were initially to have Rex come on and discuss some of the data analysis for the student analytics dashboard. But I haven't heard a response from him yet. So something that we had to put together quickly.
Right. Okay. Okay. So maybe it would be a good idea to have some sort of like backup plan in case Rex is not able to do that, or do you think he will be able to do it?
I think it will be. I've reached out to other people as well to see if they'd be engaged with it too. So we have 2 or 3 options that are available. But yeah, I was going to give that the priority.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that sounds great. Perfect.
I don't think um just I'll just chime in. I don't think he is going to make it because he moved recently to another country to study. Um, so I don't know. We should probably take on one of the other options.
Okay, so he's out of the country.
Yeah, he's just moving. In that's quite a bit of things to do from his side. If he hasn't responded to you yet, he's probably not going to do it. I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, well, I will get something finalized today and share it with you in the announcements channel then.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, and we can also brainstorm about it or to come up with any other options if we need to, like, all together. Nate, if you need help with that, just I guess just let us know. Okay, well, I think that's it for the agenda items that we had so far. Maybe I can also provide some update um, on the Common Pool Stewardship project. I've kind of like laid out some more details on the Notion project. I cannot share screen right now, but if you are curious and want to learn a bit more, you can check on the project on the Notion base. And there's also a Google document with the project plans that I've continuously been working on. I've kind of like set now a timeline from now, or from where I started doing this, like back in September, all the way to kind of like beginning of January, where I'm thinking that we could possibly have this project end. And I've also kind of like developed a couple of milestones to try to break down in pieces the different aspects of the project in terms of, it's basically these three pieces: the building a fiduciary policy, so like a document, a charter with kind of like guidelines or things that we could agree on as a community, or that we could use as a recommendation for the community. Then some reporting practices, financial reporting practices, and what are the process to get that done throughout the way in a recurring basis, what's needed, as well as for a budgeting strategy that can allow us to think a bit more long term and to try to forecast and to prevent based on our current resources in the common pool, how much can we last, how much can we maintain the operations and funding everything that we are funding currently. So that's kind of like the idea, to come up with a budget that we can also either approve as a community or make a recommendation on. And those are kind of like the three main objectives that this project has. And again, I've broken it down in chunks, in milestones, with different timelines. And I would also kind of like use right now this space to make an open call for anyone who's interested in this kind of like topics, financial and reporting, budgeting. If you like to participate or to help out in any way, please feel free to reach out to me, or just to look in the Notion to the project and make any comments or whatever you want, and we can also work it together. And yeah, that's kind of like the update for me right now. I'm just gonna open the floor real quick to see if there's any questions in regards to that. If not, we can move on.
Happy to help there. I'll send you a message.
Yeah, sounds great, Jim. Absolutely, that'll be appreciated. Thank you. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, Isaac, I don't know how are you doing with those results. I'll pass it on to.
Um, yeah. Well, I could make the data sort of get into the manager, but for some reason the results are not loading up. Like it's not changing any results. Um, so well, actually, let me share screen and um, well, I guess I'll just open the floor first to see if there's anything people want to chat about. If not, I think what makes the most sense is for me and Sean to sort of work on this very quickly. I think I can do something really quick. Shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. Everyone is welcome to stay till the end, where I hope we can get the results. But yeah, just gotta get this done anyways. Um, and I'll share screen actually to show you. Yeah, Griff?
Well, if you need 10 minutes, I definitely can talk comms a little bit, but
Okay. Well, let me just I'll just explain to Sean what I'm looking for, so he can get me some data, and then I can pass it on to you. Just 1 second, please. So this is Sean. This is what we did on the first round. To at least to use like the baseline, the sort of the version 1 algorithm, and Rex gave me the list of addresses, both for the academy and for the TEC. I used number one, and then I just made a formula so that if the address was found on that list, it multiplied the coefficient by 2, and that should work. Because I downloaded again the row CSV, and I just modified a few coefficients by hand, and it worked. So there's something weird about the data set they sent us. So if you have at hand the list of addresses from the academy and the TEC, I can do that quickly. Yeah, I'll pass it over to you, Griff.
I just want to clarify. So I think Isaac, you're asking from me that what I saw there, that data set that's like the token flags, one for the TEC and one for the Academy.
Yeah, if you want to send them separate, that's cool. If you have like just one list for both, that's also cool. Both work.
Okay, I'll see if I can do that quick. Yep.
Thanks.
nice. So then I'll just be entertaining and start with I put a chat in our chat. Please retweet this tweet. It's the please go out and vote tweet. I also DM'd Simon and Dargum and Phil and just like everybody I thought might have tokens and vote on this. So hopefully those votes will come in. But at this point, we only need man, I don't know. Let's see, probably 14,000 TEC to vote yes on this, something like that. Maybe like 20,000 TEC. So every little bit of TEC helps, and then the vote will pass. But we really do need we have 2 days, and we do need to do some wrangling. So, yeah, it's always fun. This is a pretty big vote. I would say it's like our first vote for the migration. It's the first time we're really getting TC token holders to signal their support. So definitely please vote on this and retweet the tweet that I just put in the chat box. And yeah,
w- one one quick question, Griffs. Because you had some issues voting. I wonder. I it's. I think you probably have some delegated TEC. And I think that's a separate transaction. I can try to get you a transaction uh, to vote for on behalf of, and see if that works, and you can delegate for whoever delegated TC to you.
oh, we only have 3 hours to do that. That's interesting. I just assumed that I thought it was all in one transaction, no? You have to do 2 transactions to vote for the delegated TC?
I think so. I'll just check while I'm doing this. But give me 1 second.
Okay. Wow,
Should be
I never.
included.
What?
It should be included.
Yeah, I thought it was included. At least when I remember doing it, it was always just one. It was always one transaction. Now, I don't know if I'm doing the wrong transaction. Like I didn't. It needed to be a different transaction to vote with my delegated stake, but I would have thought it was included.
Because I have a bit delegated to myself from another address, and I did 2 transactions yesterday.
Oh,
Maybe I'm
really?
getting things twisted, but
Wow.
I'll
Okay,
I'll
cool.
just check.
Yeah. Just send me the second transaction and that you also sent, and I'll send that one off too. Um, other comms things besides this very important vote that we need to make sure everyone votes on is in the comms channel. I just put on like our plan for the week, and I added the teaser tweet for the community call. But bonding curve research group on Thursday, QF on Giveth, probably our QF results. I'm also going to push the reserve currency for TC basically after this migration push for the next 2 days. At the end of the week, I'll start talking about what should our if we do migrate to optimism, we have the opportunity to change our reserve currency. So that will be like the next big discussion, and then yeah, and then internally, I believe NT is working on a proposal to get coin to do QF work. I think that's UNT. And then I'm going to try to push for QF sponsors for the next round. So that's the comms plan. If there's any additions or subtractions that you guys want to bring up, totally open for it.
Yeah, I just pasted the transaction for you Griff here. And yeah, I'll probably run the proposal by some of you later this week. I'm running it by sort of the team that's working on it first, and then I'll seek for more feedback. Um, yeah.
Well, I was also thinking a bit more on how to try to amplify the topics in the forum, and especially the ones related with the migration. So maybe I don't know. Maybe in the meantime, while Isaac, you finish the results, we could maybe brainstorm a bit on that. I've been putting some thought into it, and one approach is like this one, like through Twitter, right? Like what Griff is going to be doing to try to engage more people in these type of conversations of the reserve currency and the Guardian, so and all of these topics. But another option I think would be maybe interesting would be to have more like open discussions or open calls, like an actual call in Discord or Twitter space, I don't know, where we could discuss and invite people to discuss these issues. Uh, I was thinking that maybe I don't know if it would be needed to have like a specific event scheduled for that, or Nate, based on what you're saying, that for example, if next week Rex is not available and we don't have many options, maybe we could also use that time of the community call um, to talk about this, and invite the community and invite people to discuss ideas and to share ideas and to try to make it more, instead of as a presentation, maybe this time it's a format more conversational format and talk about these things that I feel that people have a lot of thoughts and opinions about. And if we're not seeing the action that we were expecting on the forum, maybe we just try to find other avenues, and maybe this could be an option. I don't know. This is just an idea, so I just wanted to throw it out there and see what people thought, or if people have any other ideas.
Is it time for like an individual Telegram outreach campaign like we did with the hacker or the Hatcher outreach?
Yeah, I think that could be also another avenue. I don't know if we still have the Telegram. I don't really know like the status of our Telegram, to be honest, but we could find out and see if that's helpful. What do you think, Griff?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely started messaging some of the people already that I know are bigger token holders and are interested, so or would be interested. So hopefully that I think that the DM approach is definitely going to be the way. I don't, although shouting into the void is really hard in DAOs, just like putting it on Twitter. So, but consistent Twitter messaging plus some DM approach. I think like if we wanted to invite them to have a discussion, then I think like that makes perfect sense.
I'd be curious, Nate or Tam, you guys have been thinking about events, and you, Tam, about how to create more engagement in the forum. Do you guys have any ideas or any thoughts about this idea of trying to come up with more open discussions about these topics?
Yeah, I think going the Twitter route is really interesting idea in my opinion. If we could have kind of discussion topics and try to engage people through Twitter, I think that'd be a really interesting way to go about things to drive people to the forum. But I also think the community call is another area where we could test out different formats. I think a secondary approach that I was wanting to take for this community call was a stakeholder research study, and see maybe if Libya would be interested in doing that as well. But yeah, I think that having the discussions around the forum is really interesting.
I mean, I guess the first thing I would ask is, are we solving the right problem? Like, what is the problem we're trying to solve? Is that even the right problem? I think that there's some important topics for people who will TEC, and we should really I feel like we should have like targeted communications to people that actually have interest in a topic. You know, what Griff said about screaming into the void, I agree. I think it's not super useful. It's nice to get broad reach, but I think that there's some conversations that we could have around the TEC migration specifically that could be interesting to not just TEC token holders, but other people in the TEC community. But I don't know. Like, I think that, I don't know. I feel like a little mixed because I feel like there's not a lot of engagement on the forum, but how big of a problem is that? Kind of my question. And what do we want to see? Do we want to see, like, how much engagement do we want to see? And how do we know that like, how do what is right? What is the right amount of engagement that we expect? I know that didn't answer your question. I'm sorry. I just asked another question.
I mean, I definitely agree. Like, if we want to just, if it's pretty unanimous that we want to go to optimism, we shouldn't like make any of these things blockers. That's for sure. Like, it's really, for me, I see it as an opportunity to re-engage people who care, and from that perspective, it's just like a comms opportunity. But I hope that we don't like feel like we need a lot of discussion to pass these proposals. Like we need to be able to get the votes to pass the proposals. We need to follow the rules and stuff, obviously, and we should all put it out there to anyone who's paying attention. But like Tam's saying, if people aren't paying attention, then it's not like a problem if we just push forward with the migration until someone tells us to stop, right? I hope we don't get stuck in inaction and indecision through over discussion. But I do see it as a huge opportunity to kind of re-engage people that might be interested and get our name out there again through this migration. And actually, isn't anyone filling out retro PGF for the TEC? I think Gideon was working on that, right?
That's already submitted.
Oh, we already submitted it, so we're just done.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I did it myself.
Oh, great.
Well, talking about that, the only thing that's missing, I guess, or I don't know how to handle that. I submitted the application via the multisig, and right now I'm the only signer. Gideon told me Ivy was maybe joining, or I don't know what's the deal. Or I don't know if it's fine if I'm just myself, but I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
I
it's
did
great.
message Ivy, but I didn't hear anything back from her.
I think she was checking in on, and Tam, correct me if I'm wrong. I think she was checking in on if it's weird that she's doing KYC for Common Stack and TEC.
I think so, and I think she said it's not.
I wouldn't think it is too, especially if Isaac's on the multisig too.
Isaac, do you have direct communications with Ivy?
I mean, yeah, but she didn't respond. I can try to
Okay.
follow up with her again.
Yeah. I'll also just drop a message in her Telegram now.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, and I will also probably be joining the multisig. I was also chatting this with Isaac last week. Yeah, I was just also waiting on trying to learn more about the implications of the KYC for my case. But I don't think that's gonna be a problem. So we might as well have the three of us in that multisig. Yeah, I think should be good.
Nice.
Okay, well, yes, I agree with everything that has been said. Yeah, I think the question you were throwing, Tam, it's really important, like what's actually the actual level of engagement that we're looking for and the level of discussion. Yeah, and I agree with you, Griff, as well, that we shouldn't get stuck on this. And if most of the people agree on this, I think we should definitely just keep moving and just, we are already allowing different avenues for conversation to happen. And if it doesn't, well, then it might also mean that people agree, right? So I think that's fine. And we could also, we were chatting about this on the last TEC call, about having these more open up discussions with the TEC members as well as other members of the community, the coordination team and other people, and try to address these specific topics. But maybe that's kind of like a different format than a community call, right? But we could still get a variety of opinions, of perspectives, and that could still be helpful and inform the migration. But yeah, maybe in a different format. So maybe that's what we can do instead. Yeah. Isaac, I don't know how are you doing? Do you need still?
I just no. I don't think we're going to be able to make it now. Sorry about that. Because just try to rush it. I was hoping to do the boost based on the original data from the round, but I just remembered like the data the Geek Quintian sent us had it was like post civil analysis, so it doesn't make sense for us to use the raw data. Um, so that means I have to follow up with them because the data they sent us is not working, which is a bummer. But yeah, sorry guys.
No, I think that's totally fine, and I think it's okay. It's probably better to take our time to figure this out and make things right. So I don't think that's a problem. I know, or correct me if I'm wrong, I think on Thursday there's like this QF kind of like technical call with you and YGG. So maybe that could be a space if people are interested in looking at the results, and we can join that call on Thursday. How would that sound?
Yeah, the call is public. We just moved um the time to 3 p.m. UTC -4. Um, it's not usually on the calendar because at least for now, until we figure out some other stuff, we're trying to keep it more um, on the private-ish side. Although we meet here on the public Discord. I was yeah, it's I'm not mad about taking our time. I was just hoping to get this done because it's been quite a few weeks, and I want to move on with the other projects in the upcoming round. But it is what it is. It is. Um, I can well, I can actually take the last few minutes of the hour to give some rough updates on the QF project and the next round. Um, so the Gitcoin folks sent some information. There's quite a there's a few new things. So like on one hand, they are starting like training program for round operators, which I don't know if anyone here is interested. They can apply and they'll get to know how QF works and how to use the platform, etc., etc. I'm personally not going through it because we had some kind of informal um, training sessions when we started running the rounds. Some other things, now they don't use the term feature rounds, it's community rounds. So now the TEC, the token engineering round is a community round um, in the framework in of the Bitcoin grants program. Um the fee was 12, 13%, somewhere around that this round. It's dropping back to 10 now, which I think it's more reasonable. And I just don't have it at hand because I wasn't planning on going on all this, to be honest. But it also comes with more embedded expectations on what to expect from Gitcoin, which I think is good. We're just getting a bunch more of clarity. Um, no dates so far for the next round, but rumors and it seems to be. It seems like it's going to be mid-November. So we are just in time. We have to be ready to um, kick up the work as soon as they announce it. Uh, and well, I'm going to be Griff is leading this, but I'm going to do as much as I can to continue with raising money from sponsors. We had heard from Ocean, and they seem to be interested. We just have to. They were going to follow up with the exact package they were going to pick for the exact sponsorship package they were going to pick. So that's that, and then we have to see who else may want to sponsor the round. Um, then for the QF project itself, um, pretty much we hope to get the proposal up as soon as possible. I already have most of it. I have to nail down some specifics that I'm hoping to do with the rest of the team working on this. and we also don't have the budget just quite yet. After that, I'm going to run it by some folks at Gitcoin and then just post it on the forum, hoping to get some support to do the research. Essentially, the proposal included three things. One is the research with one deliverable of either a paper or an extensive forum post with recommendations in our our recommendations and our findings on how independent round operators can modify QF to make their rounds stronger and more aligned with their particular community project, whatever, using on-chain signals. The other deliverable is a series of open sessions or something like that. We have to detail more that for advanced users named maybe round operators or other interested parties to learn like the intricacies of QF and how it actually works and what does modifying or tuning QF means. And lastly, an MVP of the tool that other round operators can use to apply all that research and findings. There's that, and I'm also planning to message Disruption Joe. He was previously at Gitcoin. Now he's he founded Plurality Labs, and they are running rounds for Arbitrum. And Arbitrum wanted something similar to what we are doing, so I'm hoping to find some ways to collaborate with them and have hopefully there's money to cover expenses and just to I'm just really trying to get some revenue back to TEC, but at the very least we get the TEC's name alongside Arbitrum's, which I think is pretty cool as well. And that's it from my side. I don't know if there's any questions or.
Those are great updates as far as I could tell. Nate, did you have something? Sorry.
No. So I was just curious. So are we looking to turn this into actually kind of a recurring service?
No, I don't think we our plan is not to service or to be service providers, although that may be an option. Who knows? Depends if I guess if there's demand, we can consider it. But it's more about just developing it, doing the actual research and foundational knowledge, because we can tweak it, but we don't know if it's doing any good, actually. And then just have it shared with the whole community so that everyone doing QF can use it. Because there's like some companies that are becoming like specialized service providers for QF, and I don't think we want to compete in that space, but who knows? I guess it's always an option. It's not the plan, at least for now. Well, I mean, if Arbitrum wants some help, I don't think we would say no, but it's not the time to be offering the service. You wanted to say something, Griff?
There's one more just a really juicy, interesting topic. And we talked about it in the comms call, and I think we talked about it in advisory network as well. But SDI, has anyone been playing with SDI? And I know Enti is really excited about seeing if we can move over our treasury, like a large chunk of our treasury at least, to SDI. Has anyone played with it? Does anyone know what I'm talking about, or do you guys want a quick overview?
Yes, please. No idea what you're talking about. Yes, please.
Oh, great. Yeah, so quick overview. All of the DAI that's sitting in the Gnosis chain bridge right now is actually being staked in MakerDAO and earning 5%. And they're directing all 100%, well, I don't know if it's 100 or 99 or whatever, but they're directing that percentage to SDAI holders on Gnosis chain. And so it's interesting because like the APR is going to be always higher than 5%. And like when I checked yesterday, there was only $77 million worth of stable tokens on XDAI, and it looks like about half of them are in SDAI already. But this is relatively new, developed by Gnosis Chain, put on Aave, but not so connected to Aave. They just got first crack at the UI. And yeah, and it's an opportunity to earn some revenue by just staking our money in SDAI as opposed to holding it in wrapped XDAI. So I don't know, there's going to be some issues with gardens, there's going to be some issues with this, but this is something that we're investigating this week as well. And just like, I don't think, this is a $33 million honeypot. I don't know that we need to put our treasury into it right away, but by the time we get a proposal through and all that, we could also consider pushing this.
Just want to give some context as well. So pretty much this is from the DAI. What's the name? The DSR. So this is like, if you trust DAI, you trust the DSR. Like that's the DAI 7th rate, which comes officially from Maker. It's just one smart contract on top of DAI and comes from Maker again. Because the way it's built, like you said, the API is higher. Things to consider that I've been looking at first, the DAO, the TEC can hold any asset, but at least from Gardens, Gardens is set up to just show XDAI. So if we move part of it or everything, it would show less than the actual money we have. I don't think that's much of an issue, but for people, outsiders say that just go onto the interface, maybe a bit confusing. It's also it's a non-rebasing token, meaning that the price of the token that goes up, not the amount of tokens. So if you put $1 today and it goes 100% API, by the year you would have one token, but it would be worth $100. And then as far as liquidity, because this is just a wrapper of WXDAI, so you just have to go to any interface. There's now Agave, but I think Spark that's a product from MakerDAO is also deployed on this chain and should be included as DAI really soon. You just go to the interface and unwrap SDAI to get WXDAI behind. So it's fairly, I mean, do your own research. I think it's important that everyone here does its due diligence, but I believe it's very low risk. And we are at the top of the hour. I'm happy to stay a few minutes if people want to just chat, ask questions, or give feedback on anything. If not, we can wrap it up here. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. See someone writing in the chat. That's time. Griff says if we put.
Yeah, I was just going to say
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's a super interesting topic, and I wish I could stay longer, but I do have to hop. But it is a very compelling proposal, Isaac.
Yeah, I'll try to work on it and have something in the forum as soon as possible. Thanks for joining today.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Isaac. Thanks, everyone.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.